Coming up on Mountain News at 6, with many of us in the region getting the first taste of snow this season, officials are sharing how you can stay safe and aware. And a Southern Kentucky man could face felony charges after stealing items off of a porch.
And a first alert weather day continues as we see some more snow showers into tonight. Your forecast coming up as Mountain News at 6 starts now.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 6.
We are just 3 days away from astronomical winter, but the wintry weather has arrived a little earlier than that here in the mountains. Our first alert weather day continues as meteorologist Cameron Aaron breaks things down for us, I believe outside. Cameron?
Olivia, this Alabama kid is happy today. I love the snow. We're getting a little bit of a break here outside the studio, a few flurries, but as you can see behind me, we have some snow sticking to the sidewalk, also some snow sticking to the cars. Now, it's not too much, and as I can see, it doesn't look like there's any snow on the areas or the roads, but you can see some more snow here, and pretty good snow for some snowballs if you have those on the cars here. Let's take a live look at First Alert Pinpoint Doppler. You can see snow across the region, not just here in Hazard, and those snow squalls will continue as we go into this evening. Also tonight, zooming into some heavier snow bands not too far away from downtown Hazard, and you can see that will continue as we go into the rest of this evening. Also tonight, also watching out for some snow squalls as we go into Southwest Virginia as well, and those temperatures are chilly as we go into this evening. Also tonight, lows are back in the 20s as we wake up and kick off your Tuesday. So we are tracking some cool weather, and that will continue for Tuesday, but some improvements on the way as early as Wednesday. Those details coming up in just a few minutes. Olivia?
All right, thank you, Cameron. And as you all can see, folks across the region are getting their first taste of wintry weather. And WYMT's RJ Johnson shares how you can stay safe and aware while out on the roads.
Crews with the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet are on high alert as snow makes its way through the area for the first time this season.
Of course, the first snowfall always brings out some cautions and concerns for the drivers who haven't been used to it.
District 10 Public Information Officer H.B. Elkins says unless you need to be on the roads, you should stay home.
So the main thing that we would urge is that if the roads start getting covered, is if you don't have to be on the road, don't be. Stay home.
Saying that if you need to leave, always be alert.
Be very cautious of your surroundings. No sudden movements, no sudden braking, no sudden acceleration.
Instead, take it easy and stay aware.
If you do have to be out, we urge that you drive slower, that you leave more distance between you and any vehicles that you may be behind.
Elkins says they are gearing up to treat the roads with salt and plows.
We are working today in our garages, our 10 county garages. They're working to prep the equipment to load the salt trucks up. We go through a rigorous process every year to calibrate the equipment to make sure that it's in good working order. Saying you should also keep an emergency preparedness kit in your car. We do recommend that drivers, if they do have to be out, especially during the overnight, that they have kind of an emergency kit in case they do get stranded. Gloves, a heavy jacket or a blanket or something warm.
In case you become stranded or unable to drive. In Jackson, RJ Johnson, WYMT Mountain News.
And in the event of you being stranded, Elkins adds that you should also keep water and food in your car. 2 people are dead after a murder-suicide situation in Laurel County. London Laurel 911 received the call this morning from a man who says he received a call from a friend who told him he had reportedly shot his girlfriend. After officials went inside the home, they found 47-year-old Deborah Meese with an apparent gunshot wound to the face. They also found 49-year-old Douglas Lee Mutters with a reported self-inflicted gunshot wound. Deputies in Wayne County, West Virginia are investigating a shots fired incident in a rural part of the county. Officials say the incident was reported around 3:30 in the 5100 block of East Lynn Road in Caiusville. One person was injured, but it is not clear if it was from the gunfire. Sheriff Rick Thompson says several shots were fired into a home. A Southern Kentucky man could face felony charges simply for taking items off a porch. The crime happened in Knox County early Sunday morning. Police say it is similar to other porch pirate cases they have seen. And WYMT's Phil Pendleton has more on what took place and what the thief told police as he was being arrested.
This crime happened early Sunday morning. A woman who lives in this part of Corbin near East Caldwell Street called police and basically said that someone had taken something off of her porch, and then moments later police say they were able to find their subject. Knox County Sheriff's deputies were looking for a porch pirate early Sunday morning. It was a man wearing red riding a bicycle.
They caught him on video, I think a Ring camera, stealing packages off of a porch and then leaving the scene.
Sure enough, a man in red riding a bike was then spotted by Corbin officers. He told them where the packages were, but could not say why he took them, which ended up being party decorations for the homeowner's children.
He didn't. He did say that he wasn't interested in anything that was in the box, and it really wasn't worth going to jail over the items that were in the box.
Punishment in jail was behind a law passed just last year that puts more teeth into the crime of porch piracy. It makes it a felony instead of a misdemeanor, which means that he could serve at least a year in prison if convicted.
Teaching him a lesson, and maybe this will be the last time that he steals.
For now, Souch is facing charges of receiving stolen property, but he could face additional charges. This case could go to a grand jury. Knox County, Phil Pendleton, now back to you.
All right, thank you, Phil. Corbin police remind people this kind of crime increases during the holidays and that surveillance cameras such as Ring doorbells are key in prevention and arrest. One person is dead after a crash in Pulaski County. It happened last Friday. Deputies were called out to the area of 15200 North Highway 1247 when a car struck a utility pole. All three people in the vehicle were determined to be minors. One person was pronounced dead after arriving at UK Medical Center. No word on the other two occupants' conditions. None of the victims' identities have been released, but officials believe alcohol may have been a contributing factor in the crash. Two people are facing several charges after a drug bust in Letcher County this past weekend. 25-year-old Clayton Collins and 35-year-old Sasha Hoover were brought into custody for carrying 1 pound and 3 ounces of meth, along with driving on a DUI suspended license, among other charges. The Letcher County Sheriff says the more than 1 pound of meth captured amounted to roughly $50,000 in street value. Both Collins and Hoover are in the Letcher County Jail. A Wayne County man is behind bars after police reportedly found him trafficking drugs. Deputies with the sheriff's office were dispatched to a home on Sharp Lane in the No. 1 community yesterday. Deputies reported smelling a strong odor of marijuana coming from inside the home. Officials were able to obtain a warrant and found THC gummies, several plastic baggies, and handguns, among other things. Carlso Norizio was taken to the Wayne County Detention Center. We shared a story in January of a woman who lost her family home after a flood and a fire. Today she received news she has been waiting for nearly 1 year. WYMT's Buddy Forbes has more about her new home thanks to Homes.
Didn't know how I was going to get to her. There was 10 feet of water around the house.
When the July 2022 floods hit eastern Kentucky, Gina Quillen saw waters rage through the only home she had ever known.
You know, a lot of people that have been flooded, they don't have a way out.
Though she received some flood relief help, the home burned down in January as repairs were being made.
Having to start over is pretty scary, but I do have trust in God, and I've known all along that He was going to provide.
Nearly 1 year later, Quillen got the news that her family will soon have a place to call home.
When somebody's lost everything that they had, and there was that hopelessness for such a long period of time, and a new home offers hope again.
Though the structure is gone, the space where it once sat remains.
How grateful we are, Lord, that these resources are out here for us.
So Homes Incorporated broke ground Monday on a piece of her Whitesburg property that is above the floodplain.
Miss my other home. I raised my children in it. But I can sit here and look down there, and the memories are still here on this property.
Plans for the 3-bedroom home mark the organization's 19th build since the floods, and the first to use funding from the recently awarded Rural Housing Trust Fund.
I've been doing this work for over 32 years, and I've never seen so much outpouring of support and help as what we've had since the flood.
Quillen says she cannot express her gratitude, yet somehow feels guilty, burdened by her neighbors in need.
That hurts my heart. I want to see everyone be blessed like I have been today.
Still, she says she is blessed to be given a new chapter on her old foundation.
This is home, you know. It's more than a piece of property, you know. It's part of who I am.
In Letcher County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
Homes officials say the Rural Housing Trust Fund, awarded to the organization by Governor Andy Beshear a few weeks ago, allows them to get immediate boots on the ground for builds where the homeowner has qualifying property above the floodplain area. Last week, Kentucky's winningest high school football coach dropped by the studio here at WYMT. Belfry head football coach Philip Haywood was here for a taping of Issues and Answers with our own Steve Hensley. He discussed his newest book, Climb the Mountain. Haywood came out with his first book 9 years ago, Faith, Family, and Football. He says the two books play off of each other.
The first book was a little more of an autobiography, and it was about my career, some of the incidents that happened in my career that probably led to who I am today, that had big influence in my life. I think this book, I was wanting to be a little more specific in some of the things that you can learn. You know, it's entitled Climb the Mountain, and it's about the steps that you need to get to the top.
You can catch Steve's full interview with Haywood at 7 here on WYMT.
Well, we are tracking some bitterly cold weather to continue tonight, but some improvements on the way. Your forecast coming up after this break.